Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Tom Newsham, and in today's video we are going to be going through a full week of keto eating, and we're also going to be looking at the effects of a full week on keto. Is keto all hype, or is it just like any other diet? We're going to take an unbiased look at this, so smash the like button and let's get into it. So at first glance, keto seems like it's going to be pretty simple. No carbs and high fat. But then you watch a Thomas DeLauer video and it gets significantly more complicated.
Don't want to go super crazy on the spinach. It's a little bit higher in oxalates. It's a little hard to digest. In Norway, which has different standards. Okay, 100% grass-fed ground beef, not grass-finished. This is a big deal. However, Australia has different standards.
What?
So to keep things simple, we're just going to track macros this week. We're going to go 70 to 75% fats, 20 to 25% protein, and no more than 5% carbohydrates. Now, we're also going to be subtracting the fiber from those carbohydrates because we're only counting net carbs. Good morning guys, day number 2. Just woken up, weighed in, and guess what? Down 1.3 kilograms. 1.3. So that's like 2.5 pounds in one day. So all I can really say is keto seems like absolute magic. I'm assuming that is mainly just water weight coming out, but we got breakfast again today. We're gonna have bacon and eggs again with a little bit of butter and spinach. And then it is time to get to work, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. Now I am really starting to struggle a little bit. Woke up this morning feeling absolutely energized, incredible, but now I'm starting to flag just a little bit. Okay, just a little bit. I'm starting to really feel, I guess, a lack of carbohydrates. Don't know if it's all in my head or not, but I am definitely feeling less energized than this morning at least. Just thought I'd show you my little lunch that I'm having. So we have 2 turkey burgers with 2 Baby Bell Lights melted on top of them, as well as a whole bunch of tender stem broccoli. And this sauce is basically just kind of like a peanut and soy sauce with like a little bit of salt and pepper as well. Really tasty, really simple. Still sort of making my way through some light foods. You could easily have this with like full fat beef burgers and sort of like some cheddar cheese or something, which would increase the fats, but today I'm definitely struggling to keep under my protein goal. My carbs are still pretty low. I think I'm on like 15 grams so far at lunchtime, but my fats are still sort of like 60 grams. Alright guys, so I just want to do a little bit of a deep dive. Well, not necessarily a deep dive, but I want to go into what you can and what you can't eat on keto. So the aim of the game, at least from what I can gather from a couple of hours of research before doing this, is to stay below about 20 grams of carbohydrates per day. And that's from all sources. So that is from any condiments that you're using, any fruit, vegetables you're having, all the things which are kind of going to contain a little bit of carbohydrates. So some foods that are going to put you over that 20 grams of carbohydrates are definitely going to be things like rice. So for half a pack of this, you're talking 36 grams of carbohydrates. So clearly that's out. So pasta, high carbohydrate, can't have it. Bread, also high carbohydrate. Things like honey, full of carbs, full of sugar. Bananas, unfortunately too high in carbs to include those in your diet. Now that's not for every fruit. You can have certain berries, things like strawberries are fairly low in carbohydrates. Watermelon are fairly low in carbohydrates because it's mainly water. But you do have to track how much you're eating of that watermelon or strawberries, just to make sure that you are not going over that 20 grams of carbohydrates a day. Again, porridge oats, can't have them. And that is my go-to breakfast. Again, there is a link there to one of my favourite videos that I've ever done, which is my high protein oats recipe video. Things like cereals, also off the table. And then you get into sort of like the middle ground. Now, I don't want to get too complicated with this, but all I'm going to say is too much protein will put you over your carbohydrate limit. So if you have too much protein in your diet, apparently what happens is eventually your body will start to notice a lack of carbohydrates, start converting some of the excess protein into carbohydrates, which will therefore take you out of that ketosis state. So, things like protein powders you need to use very, very sparingly. Now, things like milk as well. Milk has sugar in it, and that doesn't matter if it is skimmed milk, it doesn't matter if it's semi-skimmed or whole milk. All milk has some sugar in it, lactose. So you need to watch out with that. And also certain kinds of cheese are also going to be a little bit higher in lactose as well. Ketchup. Now I've got the reduced salt, 50% less salt and sugar one, which means the carbohydrates are going to be less. However, be careful of the condiments that you use. However, be careful about how much you actually use. Make sure you weigh it out at first. 15 grams of this is 2 grams of carbs, which is 10% of your daily total if you're on keto. So I'm filming this on the first day, so we haven't really stocked up on keto-friendly foods. So things like high-fat meat, like pork, beef, steak, salmon, oily fish, all that kind of good stuff is going to be acceptable on the keto diet. Things like avocados, yes, there is about 2 or 3 grams of carbohydrates in an avocado. However, it is mainly fat. So half an avocado with most meals will give you a good amount of fat. Butter, I am going to be using this relatively sparingly, maybe once a day, just to probably cook my eggs in. So hopefully that's cleared things up for you guys about what you can and can't have on keto. Remember to like the video, comment, subscribe, click all the buttons down there, and let's carry on with the video. Good morning, everybody. So, excuse how I look, I have literally just woken up, as you can probably tell by my hair. And it's day 3, so we are heading in the right direction. That's all I'm going to say. Not going to spoil how much weight I've lost, but, you know, stay tuned for the end. I'm hoping it's going to be a significant amount. I feel like it already is. So, for breakfast, what do we have? We have 2 sausages, regular sausages, can't remember last time I had that. We have the same spinach and the same 2 scrambled eggs. Okay, and this actually all comes out to around about 600 calories or so. So this is a lot for not a lot of food, but it seems to fill me up. Okay, so, got in from a little run, 5k, which I'm surprised I did actually. So that was kind of tough. Felt really, really tough at first, but then about 15 minutes in, felt like I could go forever, but now I'm really feeling it. Now I've stopped, I'm really feeling it. Feel very kind of like phlegmy as well, and quite pale. I feel like I'm super pale. Breathing heavier than I normally would, but oh well. What's going on? So you may be looking at this and sort of thinking, that's a lot of cheese. Seems like Tom's having a bit of a cheat in every meal. Well, you're not wrong. Like, it does kind of feel like a little bit of a cheat meal every gram of cheese I'm putting on. The issue is, there's no sugar, there's no carbs, there's no bread. Leveling with you guys, like, I am really struggling with this. Got some Coke Zero, which is really trying to get me through any carb cravings I've got, but it's not really working. But today is day 4, we're about halfway through today. So, just got today and then day 5, day 6 and day 7 to go. So 3 days after today. So we're over the halfway. My, doesn't that look appealing? So this is my last meal for day 4. I am really, really struggling right now. Mainly motivation to carry on and do this, but I keep saying it's only 3 more days. Only 3 more days. Well, howdy doody. Time for a keto snack. Cheesies. These come in a variety of different flavors, and it is popped cheese. Popped cheese. Have you ever heard of such a thing, Olivia? Like a sniff? So that's what. It basically looks like popcorn. God, but I'm like, just look at it, I'm very aware it's cheese. Oh, shit. Oh. Whoa, that's an interesting flavour. I got the Gouda flavour. You could go like cheddar or, I don't know, mozzarella I think, but these ones seemed like they were going to be Gouda. So, we went to McDonald's and I was like basically I've been getting really down because I haven't really been able to find too many snacks, and you know, in terms of like convenience food, like just going to a shop or like a takeaway or something, you can't exactly do anything. So I got a, I'll put it on the screen, I got like the worst looking double cheeseburger, but stupidly I ordered it with no bun. And like, ate it with my hands. I didn't realise they gave you a knife and fork for it, bloody hell. So we've got a free plastic knife and fork. But yeah, like I said, I've been really struggling to actually find snacks that are keto friendly. But I mean, these aren't even that nice. It's literally balls of cheese. It's like, imagine popcorn, but cheese. So one thing you don't really get much of on keto is like puddings, sweets, that kind of thing. Generally, typically, sweeter things have carbs in them, basically. So we're going to be trying out now. This isn't just for keto, but it is low in carbs. So 100 grams of quark, fat-free quark, which is like a cheese, is 4 grams of carbs. So put your scale on, 100 grams. Should look a little bit like that. Just take a little bit off, and there we go. 102. Adding to that, we got cocoa, so like drinking chocolate. Looking at that, less than 2 grams of carbs. Less than 2 grams of carbs there, and a little bit of fat per 1 teaspoon. So we're going to pop that in, mix it up. So 0 calorie sweetener. We've got 2 of those, crushed up, because they are tablets, in there. And then mix it all up. You have yourself a little pudding. I'll let you know how it tastes, but very, very low calorie. That's actually alright. So very, very high in protein, very low in carbs and fat. And that was a pretty decent workout. I was expecting to feel a lot less energized considering how I felt the last couple of days. However, feeling pretty good, feeling pretty switched on. And today is probably the first day where I'm quote unquote out of that keto flu. Now, one thing I didn't realize was bulletproof coffee is, obviously I realized it was keto, but it actually helps with the keto flu. So what exactly is bulletproof coffee? Well, it's probably the strangest coffee you're ever gonna have. So I've got the little infographic here. 8 ounces, we're in England here, so we're just going to call it one coffee, but 8 ounces of well-sourced organic coffee, 1 teaspoon to 2 tablespoons of MCT oil or coconut oil, and 1 teaspoon to 2 tablespoons of grass-fed butter. Stick it all in a blender and you blend it. This sounds kind of gross. We have the coconut oil, Nespresso obviously. We're going to pour that in there right now. So right there, feeling like it'll probably, we're going to go for that. Smells really nice. It smells just like a coconut cappuccino. But we're going to go in for a taste test right now. That's not what I was expecting at all. That's very strange. That's very nicer than I was expecting. Nicer than I was expecting. But I also need to add one of these to make it sweeter since we don't have the milk. So adding that little bit of sweetener really does make all the difference.
The next day.
Alright, so 1 week of keto. Completed it, mate. So we're going to go through some very quick pros and cons. I don't want to keep you guys for too long. So how much weight did I lose in total on keto? Well, started off the week on 76 kilograms exactly and finished the week on 74.2 kilograms. Now my lowest weigh-in was 74.1, but given it's just a difference of 0.1 kilogram, we're going to round down anyway, so 2 total kilograms, or just shy of 2 kilograms, let's say. So that's pretty good. That is just under 5 pounds total lost, which is fairly good, right? But let's get into some quick pros of the keto diet. What benefits did I feel? Well, number one, surprisingly, my sleep was incredible. I woke up most days feeling the benefit of that. So sleep was really, really good. Now I'm pretty sure some people won't be feeling this because I've read up and a lot of people seem to have insomnia when first starting the keto diet. However, I can only go off my experience. My sleep was absolutely incredible and very, very deep and restful. Number two, I was pretty full after meals. Now because fat is very calorie dense, most meals were very, very small, but were filled out with a ton of veg. And that feeling of satiation, so feeling full, typically lasted quite a few hours, at least until the next meal. So linking into that, less snacking because of that. I just didn't really feel the need to snack. However, you are quite limited on what snacks you can have. Number four, obviously the weight loss. The weight loss is pretty good. So 2 kilograms in 1 week, really good. Now we're starting to get into the blurred lines between positive and negative of my experience, at least on the ketogenic diet. However, with energy levels, I either felt absolutely energized, ready to go, could do, a ton of workout, or I would feel absolutely shattered and just didn't really feel like I could work out or concentrate much on my work. Now speaking of concentration, didn't feel like that actually improved at all. In fact, I would actually say it went the other way, and I couldn't really concentrate too much on sort of day-to-day tasks or even watching TV. I found I was on my phone a lot more. I was quite irritable and everything. And again, I feel like that was kind of going into the stage of ketosis. Maybe if I was going to do this for a little bit longer, perhaps we would probably find an improvement in concentration overall. So let's get on to some hard negatives right now. For me, it felt very, very restrictive. Okay, so the diet itself felt very restrictive. And I know a week on keto, I'm not going to have enough tips and tricks and everything to try and have a very comfortable time on keto. But just from this week, I felt very, very restricted. I felt like I was basically having a plate of greasy meat and kind of veg that was covered in butter. Number two is the keto flu. So everyone has a different experience on the keto flu. Mine was pretty mild compared to what I've heard, but I didn't really have any flu symptoms. I was just grumpy, I was irritable, and to be honest, on day 4 I was this close to just giving up and stopping. Day 4 was Saturday night and I just didn't want to do it anymore. I can't remember exactly what I ate on Saturday night. There'll probably be clips obviously that you've seen, but I just didn't want to do it anymore. I was just so over it and just again knackered, could barely keep my eyes open, had to go to bed early. However, on Sunday I woke up feeling 10 times better. And I actually had a good workout Sunday morning and Monday morning. Now, let's talk about the negative impacts of energy levels. I was so up and down. And again, 1 week on keto, you're probably going to argue that you're not going to feel the best benefits of it. But like I say, I was only going to do this for a week, and if I absolutely loved it, I was going to carry on. Now, the up and down effects for my energy levels were just too drastic to take lightly. Again, I could go for a run. 10 minutes in, felt absolutely awful, and then the next minute felt like I could run for another hour. But when I stopped, I would just feel the impact of that so much. So for me, really, the main thing was energy levels. I just did not feel very energized. Or I would feel mega energized, kind of overdo it, and then I would stop and I would feel absolutely awful. We got a few good workouts in. I was expecting to sort of slack off a little bit working out. However, did work out about 4 or 5 times. The only days I didn't really work out was when I was really feeling that tiredness just down to the keto flu. And finally, the last negative point is just all the headaches. Even now, I'm 7 days in, I don't have any other symptoms of a keto flu, don't have any other sort of negative impacts or anything like that. I'm not even hungry. And today is the last day. Today is day 7, finished this week of keto eating, but I have a banging headache. And it's kind of like this constant headache that's been there since day 4, day 5, whenever it was, and it's just sort of there. And I don't know if this is just sort of still trying to get into ketosis, sort of flirting with the keto flu. I don't know. So is keto for you? Well, if you're anything like me, you're going to be Googling pictures of chocolate chip cookies and pancakes, and you're going to open up the sugar jar just to take a sniff every now and again. Personally, I feel like I need carbs, and I didn't actually realize how much I needed carbs until I actually started on this keto diet. Now, as I said earlier, day 4, I basically It was like this close to giving in. This close, but I stuck with it and I'm very, very glad I did. Just purely because I can now say that I've tried keto, and whenever somebody asks me in future, what do you think of keto? Well, I can give them an honest answer based on my experience. And even though I lost 2 kilograms in 1 week, I just feel like sustainability is the #1 thing for diet. So it's better to lose half a kilogram over the course of 1 month than it is to lose 2 kilograms in 1 week and not be able to stick to the diet after that. That's just my opinion, but also my advice as a personal trainer. But there are people who can stick to keto, and my hat is truly off to those people. There are people who have commented on my full day of eating on keto. Very, very helpful people, and I really do thank them, who have been on keto for over a year, and it seems to be working really, really well for them. So, would I recommend it? Well, if you're curious, maybe you should give it a try, but maybe you should try at least a fortnight to 1 month. Personally, I don't think I could last any longer than a week, but if you get 2 days in and you feel like, you know what, this is too restrictive, it's not for me, I don't feel great on this, then you can just stop there and then. Equally, if you get 1 week in and you're absolutely loving it, there's no reason why you shouldn't carry on doing it. A lot of people have a lot of success on keto and a lot of people don't. It is just one of those personal preferences. And there's a lot of stick that keto gets, but I'm very, very glad that I tried it for myself and realized, you know what, it's not for me. So in the meantime, guys, that is the end of the video. So I'm going to be doing quite a few more videos like this. I ate insert diet trend here for a week and here are the results. So make sure you subscribe, ring the bell, like the video, and comment below which diet I should try next. In the meantime, guys, I'll see you in the next video.